Welcome again. After the short break we had, we can come to the second part of the agenda and the roundtable discussion that consists of prime guests, mainly educators, to whom we will address questions regarding TRiPGiFT project in relation to education, teaching, teachers and students. I see in the chat that we have a lot of questions, and all the QR codes will be available after the webinar, and you can have the time to check them. Before we begin, I would like to introduce the other chairwoman that she is in the panel too, Dr. Kiki McCree.
Good evening to all.
Hello, Kiki. She's co-hosting this discussion too. And we will continue with our guests who are for today. I'm going to say only the names, and after that I will ask for the participants to introduce themselves. So we have Mrs. Sofia Chronopoulou. Sofia, if you want to open your camera, please. Hello, Sofia.
Good evening, everyone.
I would like to you to have a brief presentation of yourself.
I'm Sofia Chronopoulou. I'm a geoscience teacher in secondary education here in Athens. And I also work as an adult educator in second chance schools, teaching geosciences and other environmental education programs. And for those who don't know what are second chance schools, are for those for people aged 18 and up who want to get their junior high school diploma.
Thank you very much, Sofia.
Thank you, very good.
Mrs. Olympia Tripolitsiotou.
Hello.
Hello, Olympia.
I am Olympia Tripolitsiotou. I am geology teachers, geoscience teachers here in Athens, me too. I work in a model middle high school in Athens. So that's all.
Thank you, Olympia. We will continue with Mrs. Clara Vasconelous. Sorry for the pronunciation, Clara. You can have tell your last name to hear it properly.
Hi, everybody. My name is Clara Vasconcelos. I'm from Portugal. I think I know some of you. I know Monica Souza. I'm seeing her since the beginning. And I think I also know Kiki.
Yes, Clara.
I think we
Hello.
spoke. Diana, hello. How are you? So I'm a geoscience educator. Well, I'm a science educator and I work mainly with geoscience. I work in Portugal in the Faculty of Science of Oporto University. And I work in a research center where I lead a group that works with geoscience education, environmental education, a little bit of biology, and that's the most relevant about me. This is me. Thank you.
Thank you, Clara. Just to mention that Clara is a member of the panel of experts on education of European Federation of Geologists, as also Kiki McCree is a member of the panel too. We will continue with Mrs. Eleni Kutsopoulou. Hello, Eleni.
Hello, I am Eleni Kutsopoulou. I am also a geoscience educator and science educator. I teach in secondary high school and I am in Patras now. I used to work with Maria. but now I'm in the education.
We're separate sectors now.
Yes, we are.
We're still friends.
Yes,
Thank you, Eleni. And
you're welcome.
last but not least, my dear Monica Sousa.
Hi, Maria. Hi, everyone. My name is
Monica.
Monica Sousa. I am from Portugal, from Porto. I am a geologist. I'm currently the executive director of the Portuguese Association of Geologists. I'm also the coordinator of the European Federation of Geologists panel of experts on geological heritage and also an EFG delegate. I have a PhD in geosciences, and I also have some experience in developing field trips for students, secondary students, and promoting geoscientific outreach activities, promoting geoheritage and geology for society. And that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica.
Yes.
And with a great pleasure, we have a man in our company. Today, we have Mr. Tiago Ribeiro.
Hi, everyone. I am Tiago Ribeiro. I'm from Portugal. Like Clara, I am a science educator who works mainly in geoscience education. My PhD is in science education and dissemination. And currently I'm working on Faculty of Science of the University of Porto as invited professor.
Thank you, Tiago. Welcome. We can start the discussion now. And Kiki, would you like to start with the first question to the members of the panel? Thank you.
We are very lucky to have you all in this panel, and also a lot of friends in participant list and attendant list. I think we are ready to start our conversation about AR and VR in geoscience. I have the same question for all of our friends from Greece and Portugal. And the first question, maybe Monica, are you ready to tell us do you believe that AR and VR technology can be integrated in the teaching philosophy of geoscience in school? And do you have any exams and experience, not from school, from your research work, from your institution, from geological life, I think?
Well, not augmented reality or virtual reality per se, but doing some virtual field trips I've also have to do because of COVID. I think we all had to learn very fast when we were during the pandemic. But I really appreciated the examples that were brought here in this webinar. But I am certain that, of course, this can be very interesting tools for learning geosciences. But I think that students must take traditional hands-on experience in the field in order to then have the capabilities, the capacity, the skills to then use these new tools. So maybe they can be used in a pre and post visit way and be integrated with the traditional field trips. Of course, this can be inclusive to everyone because everyone has the ability to participate in the process and minimize any problems with students that might have some incapacities for instance, doing field trips.
Thank you, Monica. Clara?
Hi again, everybody. I agree with what Monica said, but relating to my country, I think Portugal is giving the first steps in the digital educational resources. Our textbooks are starting to be printed just digital and not in paper. So I think publishers are really anxious to have digital educational resources. We already do in the faculty when we teach students that are going to become teachers of biology and geology. We already do virtual field trips. Tiago is an expert in doing this kind of work. You can ask him what does he teach and how does he teach that to the students. But in our geoscience education curricular unit, they already do virtual field trips. And I think it is possible to do that in our schools. Of course, teachers have to have a professional development to be able to know how to use those kind of new technologies. Most of our teachers are old. Lots of them are going to be retired. We are lacking lots of science teachers in Portugal. But they have to have professional development to be able to use that new technology. Regarding to augmented reality, I think in this moment we are unable to use that because it is very expensive. We don't have the material to do that in the universities or nor in other higher education institutions. So it is even more difficult to have those kinds of technology to use that with students from middle secondary school. It is too early for us to do augmented reality in middle and secondary schools. But virtual field trips, like the way we do in our faculty, our professors, our teaching professors that are still in training, they are already being engaged in this kind of environment, and they already know when they leave the faculty and they go to a school to teach, they already know how to do virtual field trips. Not so complex as those ones that we have seen, of course, but they know how to do virtual field trips and how to teach students with them. Just one more thing. I arrived a little bit late to the meeting, so maybe I have lost some information, but I like Monica, the educational resources that were shown, but do they have been already went through an evaluation process? Because I think they are nice, they will engage students, promoting motivation, but do they engage students in the learning process? Do students learn better with those virtual field trips than with presential field trips? Are they a field trip to be done alone or to complement the presential field trip? Should students do it alone or in group with a monitor? And I think those kind of questions need to be, need more research. It is very important to do the educational research, but if you really want to do that in the teaching process, we have to evaluate those resources.
Yes, you have absolutely right. And I think this is the next step of our project, Erasmus project, Maria. Have I right? The next task for our materials is to proceed to the evaluation and the assessment of materials.
Yes, the assessment.
We have a few months ago to end this project, so I think next year we'll have the results of this evaluation. So we are very glad to meet you all again officially to discuss about this result. Thank you, Clara.
And Kiki, to mention that the results of this event will be a part of our assessment too.
Tiago, are you ready to answer us if do you believe that this technology can be property to geoscience teaching now school, your country?
Yeah, sure. I agree with Clara. We are trying to implement these virtual field trips in our curricular unit, geoscience education. We are working in some free software and platforms like Google Earth, ThinkLink, but we are witness some difficulties in getting the open license to work with these technologies. And sometimes they are very expensive and difficult to develop and to get the multimedia that we need to enrich this experience are not easy. We challenge our students to collect photos, videos, but it's a work in progress. We are witness also the editors of the textbooks are starting to implement some virtual field trips in the educational materials, but the field trips they do are mostly videos and not a very interactive experience. So I think we have a path to make.
Thank you, Tiago. I must notice this. I think Professor Evelpidou is here. She's here. In Greece, we made innovation tools about the field trip, and in this period, we will try to bring the AR and VR technology in new R textbooks. So maybe it's a challenge for us also to input this technology in our textbook, and we will see. Thank you. Eleni Kutsopoulou, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I have to agree with all that spoke before me, and with Monica and Tiago and Clara. It can be difficult, but it can be very educating. I think they can be integrated into the teaching philosophy of geosciences because it would be. It's going to be an amazing experience. I mean, especially for children, but for adults as well. They can be transported into various geological settings. For example, they can go, they can see the explosion of a volcano, they can visit deep sea environments or the tectonic plate boundaries. They can also simulate a field trip. They can, it can be adjusted to field studies. So they will be able to practice their skills, see, understand, learn how to learn how they can be inside in a field and related to the map that they are already viewing. They can see the rocks, and maybe there can be some rock identification. I think it can help students a lot. Of course, it is difficult. We also don't have everything that it is necessary to incorporate it, but in the books, as Tiago said. But it will be very interesting if we can actually have it.
Thank you, Eleni. Olivia, Mr. Politiotti.
Yes. I also agree with everyone who spoke before me. I have been teaching for 20 years in secondary education, and I'm using new technology, just videos, simulation for many, many years. It's a very powerful tool in the teaching of geoscience because we have to teach topics such as volcanoes, tectonic plates, and etc. This is a very danger or difficult to see. I haven't experience of using AR or VR in the classroom, but my experience was only in experimental projects in museum, etc., in festivals. So I think it's very interesting. I don't know in school, in classroom, how we can use this
Materials.
particulars. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Sophia?
I agree with everyone. I absolutely believe that AR and VR can be a very powerful tool for teaching geosciences in secondary education because some complex concepts become much more easier to understand for students. I don't have a personal experience using such technologies in the classroom. We can't use them in a classroom here. However, last year, after the installation of interactive whiteboards in our school here in Athens, I had the opportunity to use some virtual trips about natural disasters and some simulations about natural processes and the interest of the students has increased about these processes. I realized that the visualization made them understand better, easier, quicker, and all these complex scientific concepts from the textbooks, and made our learning process more fun. And I think that this way the entire learning process is upgraded. We have a lot of difficulties. We don't have very fast internet connections. We don't have mobile phones or tablets. But I think that we can start from somewhere and go on.
Thank you, Sophia. Tiago write us something about the combined about biology and geology. And Tiago, do you want to note something? To tell
Yes,
everyone?
it's a feeling that I have now working with virtual field trips is the lack of resources in geoscience. And when compared like biology, because in biology there are models, 3D models that we can use as a multimedia resource to integrate in such kind of software. But in geology, we don't have that.
Yes, you are right. Thank you, Tiago. Maria?
Yes. So I will ask Sophia first. She was the last previous, that's why. Sophia, which scenario was more interesting to you, and which do you think will capture the students' interest?
Of the scenarios presented.
Yes, the three educational
I
scenarios.
believe for my students, the most interesting one was the ones related to thunder. Why? I think that in general, natural disasters capture students' interest, and especially phenomena that are unpredictable in their mind and intense. Particularly in recent years, some natural disasters have affected our country more frequently than before, and students' interest in this topic has increased a lot. So a scenario related to thunder will be very attractive and will offer to my students a sense of adventure, exploration, that simple textbooks cannot offer to them. And I think that the material is easy to use by students. In this age, they are very familiar with computers and tablets and mobile phones because they are playing games in their home computer and their mobile phone. And it's very easy for them to use it. I don't think they will have difficulties on using the material. We have difficulties. Sometimes students help us to use whiteboards, mobile applications, tools like that.
I agree, Sophia. Yes. Monica, which scenario was most interesting to you, and do you believe that this digital material considered to be easy for students to use?
I like the three examples. However, the one which added the virtual museum, I think, is also very interesting to be considered in such a tool. Unfortunately, I couldn't follow the QR code. My phone didn't work, so I couldn't explore the examples and the scenarios that were given. But as my colleague was saying, students probably know how to fix this and how to rapidly arrange a solution to this. So yes, they are very used to use computers and to use phones. So they for them that would not be a difficulty to use these tools. But I cannot say much more because I couldn't use with my phone.
Okay, Clara?
Hi. Well, I arrived a little late, so I didn't watch fully the first presentation. But I like the three; they are different. For example, I am used to see virtual museums because we have a curricular unit of communication when students have to do a model for a virtual museum. So I'm more used to that one. I remember one of them had a game inside the virtual field trips. We also do games. Maybe it is too much to do the field trip and also the game, but to score them, I would have to explore them by myself. And I didn't follow the QR code. I missed the first lines that you gave to everybody. So it is not fair to say which one is the best. The three were motivated and well done and very good examples. And I think students will use that very easily because they engage with digital tools every day. They will do it even with more facility than myself. I'm like Monica. They know to use those resources so well. They were born in digital era, so I think students will not have any problem.
Thank you, Clara. Olivia?
All three scenarios are very interesting. It's for its own perspective. For me, it's really hard to single out one of them because it can be utilized in different chapters in geoscience. I will stick to the one about the Samaria Gorge for my students because we collaborate with the colleague who teach skills workshop, τα εργαστήρια δεξιοτήτων in Greece. And we collaborate with UNESCO, and I think Samaria is in the this trip, this road for recognized. And I think we can use this scenario.
Thank you, Olivia. Eleni?
I have to say that all three scenarios were very interesting, but I want to,
Let me guess.
yes, what?
What the scenario that you will choose?
No, wait.
No.
Yes, but no, wait. um, um, they look different from the. I have to note that they looked different from the mobile device, and then when you entered the QR code and you were you had all these applications that you could use. Instead, when you just watch them through the computer. So after I started thinking that. After watching from the computer and saying that I like the Samaria gorge better, then I saw the interactive with the QR code that you enter through your mobile and application, and you had the treasure hunt. I think I will go with Petelico Marbles. Okay.
Okay. And Diago?
I didn't follow from beginning the meeting because I was teaching, sorry. But I think that students, I agree that students found more easy to engage with this technology than the teachers, for example. But I think it's there is one thing more important, that we have to guarantee the accessibility to the internet fast enough to work with this technology, that the students all have the smartphones or the tablets that are technology advanced enough to work with this technology. So we have some challenge to overcome.
And I will ask Kiki also.
Yes,
Kiki,
about?
which scenario think that was more interesting for your students?
For me or for my students?
For your students.
Because there is my student, I think the scenario of thunder, like Sophia says, it's the most easier for students 12 to 15 age in Greece, because some knowledge about marbles, about coach, maybe our students, they don't have all this basic knowledge. And I think maybe it's more interesting or more easier, maybe more easier, the scenario of thunder.
Thank you, Kiki. And you can move on with another, the third question.
Yes, thank you. In Greece, in this period, we have a big problem with the use of smartphones in classroom in our schools. I think maybe in your country, in Portugal, or in other countries, maybe you have the same problem. But I want and I have to ask you, how do you believe this application will facilitate student learning in the classroom when used through or tablet or mobile phone? If in your country it is preferred to use tablet or mobile phone in classroom, because I don't know if in Portugal tablet or mobile phone it's okay to use it in classroom. Tiago?
I think that we are starting to have a problem because some schools in Portugal are starting some projects related to, free smartphones environmental settings. So the smartphones are not allowed in schools.
All schools,
Uh,
all the category,
yeah.
all.
Sorry?
To all schools, secondary and.
No, it's a pilot project in some schools that we are starting to implement in Portugal.
I think legally in Portugal in this moment, the director of the school can decide if they allow the students and teacher to use the mobile, because we got some problems with mobile students filming some situations and posted in social media. So we do have a problem with mobiles, but the director of school has the authority to decide. But it's very difficult to use a technology that really needs the mobiles, because we need that permission of the director. But I think that if an education resource is well done and proves to be efficient, I think a conversation with the director will be enough to be able to use. But
in this case, Clara, do you believe that this material AR and VR it will be interesting for our students, for your students?
Well, my students are from the faculty, and I tell you, they like, because they want to be geoscience educators, they like those kind of materials. We also do some on-site field trips that they also like, but they are engaging with this new technology and they like. And I think to motivate students from middle and secondary schools, it is a very good resource. What I don't know yet is if they really engage students in the learning process, if they learn better, if this resource alone is enough for them to really learn the content that is needed. That's what I said in the beginning. Those kind of resources need to be evaluated to see if they are efficient in teaching and learning.
Thank you, Claire. Monica, do you want to tell us something about this using in classroom?
Yes, I have to agree with Tiago and Clara. First of all, there is a problem in using the mobile phone in classes. So some schools are not allowing students to have their phones with them. Of course, if there is a possibility to have, for instance, a tablet, as in the first grade, I know that are little children, but they were being distributed tablets to the students. If it is also happening with the secondary ones, maybe that can be used, because the tablets are from school and so they are used only for teaching purposes. And yes, I think that students would really engage with this kind of learning. Geoscience learning is like the gaming. They engage in gaming. The thing is, we have to see if the learning process, as Clara said, is reaching what we want, is that they are really learning geoscience through this technology or through these resources. So this has to be validated in order for being a tool to use in geoscience learning.
Thank you, Monica. Sophia, what do you think about
As you said, here in Greece we have a big problem. Last year we could take permission from the principal, and sometimes we could use mobile phones in our classroom, but these years things can have changed. I think that mobile phones are better than tablets for a lot of reasons, because all students have mobile phones and they can and they are more, I think, affordable for them, although they have small screens, and sometimes it's not easy to see some special signs on them. Although they are portable, and students know how to use them. So all this can make learning experience more fun and increase the interest. We must try to increase the interest for geosciences in our classroom. This is our scope.
Thank you, Sophia. Olivia?
I agree, me too, with Sophia. And in my school, we have 8 tablets, but just only 5 can read QR codes. The 3 others are very ancient, old. And using an application through tablets or mobile phones in classroom mean individual learning levels. So each student can learn with material at right pace, and help students to participate through educational games, quizzes, multimedia. And it's very useful for me. Smartphones, it's very difficult to use because in the classroom, because we have other problems, everyone knows.
Maybe, Eleni, maybe these materials can work like homework, not in the classroom, but there.
Yeah, you're talking to me?
Yes, Eleni, maybe this material can work better as homework, not in
This
the
is the main
classroom.
reason that I mentioned earlier, that the experience when you're watching this through the whiteboard, which is interactive now, or through you can do the lesson in the computer lab. The experience is much more different than when you're doing it through the mobile device. I don't know if students could, all of them, access it from home if you assign it as homework, but maybe you could, maybe we have the permission to do it when we're having an environmental project, for example. Maybe we can use them then. Of course, it's not the same as showing it or engaging all students to do it in classroom, but maybe it's a start.
Maybe you can use this material, not formal education, non-formal education, maybe like this.
Yes, maybe in a project, like we have environmental projects and
out of curriculum.
Yes,
not
out of curriculum. Yes,
not
at school, but not in the curriculum.
Clara, do you want to know something about this? Maybe this material is proper to not through curriculum, but the activities from activities out of the curriculum.
I would like to see them integrated, aligned with the curriculum. Why? Because I told you, our textbooks are starting to be only digital. So we need
only digital, only for all grades.
All grades. So we need digital resources. Of course, they can also be used in a science club or in projects that are done by teachers at school, but I would really like to see them aligned with the curriculum.
Thank you very much. Maria?
Yes, I was thinking that these tools is like Minecraft. I would prefer my kids to they used to play, for example, in Samaria Gord, than rather in Minecraft. So I think that is something that we should think about it, how to advance it in another level. And I'm going to continue with the questions and to ask now first Tiago. Tiago, what are the expected benefits of using the virtual field trip for geoscience teaching? What do you think?
I think that we need to do some research, but I would say the accessibility and the inclusiveness that these kind of field trips can give can provide in the educational process. For me, it's the two big ones. The engagement, the deeper understanding of the scientific concepts. I think we need to work on some research to evaluate these kind of things.
Eleni?
Wait, I was muted. There are a lot of benefits. We already mentioned that it will make possible for students to visit places they will otherwise have no chance of visiting. They can go in field trips and experience different geological environments that with safety, for example, the Samaria Gorge. I think the integration of virtual field trips and VR technology in geoscience teaching can completely transform the educational system, and by making it more enjoyable, because it will be interactive, and of course it will be also cost effective for students. And yes.
Any disadvantage that comes on your head right now?
I think one must be said, it is the development of digital competencies that are really needed for 21st employment. We see that in all the educational documents, and I think that engaging students since the early school with those kind of field trips will increase those kind of competencies. And of course, what I think it was Eleni that said, the possibility of going to places that would be very expensive and students will be unable to go. And I remember that the first virtual field trip that I saw was many, many years ago in an IGO conference, and it was a field trip to the center of the Earth. It would be impossible to go there unless it is a virtual field trip. So for me, those two are the most important values of those virtual field trips.
Sophia?
I agree with all of you. I think that field trips, virtual field trips, allow students to explore landscapes that would be inaccessible due to the distance, as you already said, and can experience a variety of environments, as a desert or an ocean, a forest, without leaving the classroom. And I also want to say that virtual field trips can provide opportunities for students with disabilities who don't have the opportunity to go to the field for other reasons. It's an opportunity to participate in geoscience, fully in geoscience education. And I think that this is a really valuable tool for us, for the teachers.
Yeah, I
We
agree.
cannot replace
The real
field
field.
trip,
Yes, of course.
but it's a way.
Yes. Monica?
Yes, on top of what was said, so it's a complementary way to field trips, and it can be a scenario, a diverse scenario where students can revisit over and over again and learn about the concepts. Also learn new skills in a controlled environment. And we can always update the scenario that we're in and include gamification or other things that we think might better the virtual field trip. Of course, this is dependent on the ability and on the level of our competencies in creating this kind of projects. Maybe, as I said, I couldn't follow the QR code, so some difficulties may arise during this process, but I think they can be surpassed. So that's it.
Olivia?
And I think a virtual trip provide several benefits for teaching for both teacher and students. We said before for using in environmental education or clubs after school. And I think in flipped classroom, we can use for because we have problems of connective in the school. We can prepare students before field work, and after the field work, we can use for supplement in the traditional. And I agree, of course, before to the others.
If you had the chance to choose between one virtual field trip and a real field trip for your students, what you will choose? The real trip, the real field trip, or
Me?
the virtual field trip? Yes, Olivia. We can start from you.
I think real trip is much better, but the virtual trip can prepare, and after we can have feedback.
Yes, but if you had to choose one or the other, what you would prefer?
The real, the real
real,
trip,
the real. Tiago?
It's difficult to me to choose. I would choose a mix of the two, maybe.
The question is to choose one.
I know, it's difficult to me. I need to, I will say the traditional one, because we need to develop more virtual and more resources to enrich the experience. And the research issue too.
Eleni?
I think I would also choose the real one, but of course you can have during the field trip, you can also have your mobile in front of you and experience all the interactive things that you are inside the virtual field trip. So you can experience this as well.
Not Eleni again. Kiki?
I think I will agree with Tiago. I have three experience with a real field trip with my students. It's so difficult because our students are very small, very tiny. It's too difficult for us. And I think the mixed way is the perfect way. As example, a field trip in the fault, but with phone that we can see with our phone the details of fault and everything.
The tectonic issues.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think this is the better way for this age, 12 to 15, 12 to 18. And I hope someday to have the opportunity to make this something like this, the mixed way. I think this is the perfect way for secondary education. Clara, I think something.
I agree that the mixed way is the best, and I know it will be the future. But
Yes.
I engage my students with nature-based learning. Contact with nature is always important, and to be there to learn together in nature. I would never stop doing real field trips. And in the present days that we are so involved with the technology, we don't speak too much with each other. Students need to contact and collaborate with each other to learn. I would do the real field trip.
I left Monica at the end of the question because I feel that she has a lot of to say. Monica?
Yes, I would go, if I had to choose between the two, I would go to the real experience,
I knew
to the
your answer.
nature-based, to the outcrops, because that's really where we learn geology, where you can feel it, where we can really understand the processes, understand the concepts. And no matter how evolved the technology might be, of course, in the future, I agree that a mix will be the way. But no matter how the technology will evolve, I think we need to also connect with nature, also connect with each other, and experience things for real. So we are always too focused on our computers. And I think that as geologists, for me, one of the things that led me to choose this profession was that I could be out there in the nature. So I think showing this to the students and showing our passion of nature, our passion of geology in the field, it's the best way to teach geology. Of course, the future, I think, will be a mixture of the two. So using these technologies, as Eleni said, also using during the field trips. We can use the phone, so we can use these resources also to increase the experience, to make it better. But yeah, nature or the real thing is, for me, the one I would choose. Yeah.
Okay.
Maria, we have a question from Yannis Aitis.
Yes, I saw the question is for the panelists, and The
Maybe
question,
we can share to
I
all the
think,
attendants.
yes. Yannis says that you will choose these days a real field trip in Samaria or a virtual Samaria Gorge. We had a natural disaster these days in Samaria Gorge. We had an accident. A rock fell and killed a tourist on the way to the gorge, and this is a really bad thing to happen. I think last year we had the tectonic issues in Samaria also after the earthquake in Crete. So yes, every year, John, we have this kind of events, and for students, not only for students, it's more safer, but this is nature, and I think that after this accident, of course, a lot of people will go on to the Samaria Gorge next year. Kiki, would you like to add something?
Yes, I want to add something that Yannis and you said. Maybe this field trip is also the way, not only for knowledge, but the way to be more safe as trip. It is not only the knowledge. It is the safest way to go and to see a geological phenomena as thunder, as gorge.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, Kiki, we don't have any more questions for the panelists. So I will ask each of you if you want to have a last thinking or tell us your feeling for the TRiPGiFT, a short text from you, Monica, before the conclusion.
Yes, I was reading something in the chat. So could you repeat?
Just if you want to add something for the event and the three educational scenarios that you saw before we close.
No, I think we have, for me, as I said, as I couldn't use the scenarios very well, I think I would need some time to explore them. But through the presentations, I think that they are on the right path. And so the next step would be to validate it with the students and see if they are good for the learning process. I think that's the next step. And as you said, next year we will have the validation. So I will be interested in knowing the results of that.
Clara?
Well, first of all, I think we should not have to choose between the real field trip and the virtual field trip, because they are different and both of them have qualities and benefits. So we shouldn't choose. And I think virtual field trips are really needed, not only because there are some places that we cannot go, but because they can always be used as the preparatory unit to the real field trip. So I like both, and I think teachers should use both.
Thank you, Clara. Sophia?
Someone is writing on the chat that nothing replaces the real field trips, but they can be enhanced by this type of technology. I think that students, as teachers, don't have the opportunity to visit all these places, so it's a big opportunity to with virtual field drift to get in touch with these concepts we read on the textbooks. And technology is in our life, so we have to take advantage of this and use it in our classroom. AR and VR are technologies and are part of technologies, I think. We'll see it in the future.
Thank you, Sofia. Tiago?
I agree with the comments, especially with Clara. The preparatory unity, I think it's something to think about it. I think we need to start to engage the teachers training as well, the initial training. We need to help teachers to implement this kind of technology in the classrooms. And congratulations with the project.
Thank you, Tiago. Eleni?
Yes, I agree with Tiago. It was an amazing experience, and watching all the virtual field trips that we had the opportunity to see today. Of course, as I mentioned before, the experience was a bit different from the computer and from the working on with the QR code that they gave us. And we need to be trained, first of all, and see all the opportunities that they offer. And then we should also try to engage our students in visiting these places through the virtual field trips.
Yes, this is a new material, so at first, of course, there will be some difficulties to use in different kind of tablet, mobile phones, PC. This is something that happens. So I think that using the material and having the contact with the people that use the material, the students, will make us better for these platforms.
Yes.
Olivia?
Yes. From this year, in every classroom, we have interactive screens. And I will try the 3 scenarios with my students. And thank you for the invitation in this discussion. It was very interesting for me.
Our
Thank you,
pleasure,
Olivia.
Olivia. And I want to close with Kiki.
Yes, maybe it must say something about the teams that design the scenarios. The University of Cyprus and the SPT creates the material, but the 3 scenarios designed by National Observatory of Athens, by the University of Athens, and the Hellenic Geological Survey.
Yes. So, I think that it's time to close our conversation. It was really nice to have you all here. I want to thank you for your participation, to acceptance to this event. And I hope to see you all again in our next event. And of course, in our channels, in TRiPGiFT channels, will be all the material and the links for the educational scenario. And in YouTube, you can see again the event. It's of course this is recorded, so you can have a try, Monica, with the video. I want to thank you all again for your participation and all the audience, the attendees that were here today. And Kiki, I don't know if you want to add something. to say good night?
Maybe one question from Ioanna Theophilou. Ioanna, are you here?
Yes, I am.
I can ask you something. The
Yes,
links
of course.
with a scenario, it's available for to share with us or not yet? The three
It is
links.
available to share if there is no more feedback on them from the consortium partners.
Okay.
So we can double check if there is no more feedback from the partners for any changes that may happen, or maybe we can't share the
Maybe we can.
links and
Maybe
we
we
can
can.
just let people know that there might be changes on the way.
So maybe better we can create a list with email with all attendance, and the next days we can send you some links. Maybe.
Yes, we can.
Not now. Okay.
Thank you all. Have a nice evening, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.